13 minutes after 4 o'clock, you're listening to ESPN Radio 105.1 in the scenic city of Chattanooga, Tennessee. We appreciate everybody out there that's tuned us in this afternoon. And joining us right now on the Hardy's Hotline is Justin Burnett. He has a great website, collegefootballuniverse.com, and he has an interesting ranking system out there. It's called the Fair Ranking System, where he ranks all 124 football bowl subdivision teams. And Justin, appreciate you coming on the show with us this afternoon.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
Hey, tell us out there now exactly how this fair ranking system, how do you do this? What are the criteria that you use to rank your teams?
Basically, to keep it simple, it's all based out on who beats who and who loses to who. It's simpler than most other the computer rankings and stuff in that it's easy to do. All you have to do is add and subtract. The average person could do it. Mm-hmm. And I kind of came up with it, and part of that, along with the article I did on it, was to kind of show the biases of people in the rankings in the current system, and how the 2014 system isn't really going to solve any of the problems.
Right. Of course, now coming up in the next, couple of years, we're going to have the new system where, obviously, we're going to have a selection committee. Are they going to use any type of a formula that you're aware of?
Yeah, right now, that's the thing that really worries me. The only thing they're talking about now is the selection committee. Mm-hmm. Nobody's even determined how many people is on the committee, if it's going to be a few people or 10, 20, whatever. And that's really important. That's an important part of it.
Well, we've had the BCS, we've seen the BCS has been tweaked over the years. When it first came out, it was more heavily weighted on the computer ratings than the human, and then after a couple controversial decisions in 2001 and a couple other years, they basically reversed the trend where 2/3 is now weighted by the human voters and only 1/3 by the mathematical. In your opinion, what's the best way to evaluate and rank the programs?
Most likely it would probably be a mix. The exact mix, I'm not for sure yet. You would have to have some kind of mathematical ranking to go along with the human ranking at the very least. Mm-hmm. I think the majority of people believe that. Majority of fans believe that. On my website, I actually have a poll up. It's not scientific. I have a few hundred votes here. About 54% believe that there should be some kind of combination of human and mathematical selection. And only 9% believe the human ranking only. And that's what we're going to in 2014, as of right now.
Right. Now, in yours, and I'll give out there, people out there listening, I'll give his top 5 in order. He has Notre Dame 1, Stanford 2, Florida 3, Ohio State 4, and Alabama 5th. Now, obviously, Ohio State is not eligible to be playing in the postseason, so if you took Ohio State out, you would have Notre Dame, Stanford, Florida, and Alabama. That would be your top 4 if you had to eliminate Ohio State.
Yeah.
Have you ever approached the people that are involved, like Bill Hancock of the BCS? Have you ever approached him with your system?
No, not yet. I haven't. I'm just starting to get hold of some other fellow gurus, I guess you could say, statisticians. Mm-hmm. I'm part of the Intercollegiate Football Researchers Association now. That's led by Tex Noel.
Yeah, so am I.
And
that's how you got in touch with me, isn't it? I was wondering how you got in touch with me. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so I'm looking into, there's some tweaks left to the system, like for the FCS teams, how to rate them. I just give them a generic rating on the system rather than looking up their record. But once I learn more about the FCS teams, I can balance out the system a little bit more of that.
Yeah, because just be honest, there are times when an FCS school, a really powerful FCS school like an Appalachian State, they would be one that would probably be a little bit better than some of the lower end teams in the MAC or the Sun Belt.
Yeah, exactly. There people email me about that too, and said that a lot of these higher up echelon FCS teams are about the same as lower bottom half of the FCS.
Right. Now, a lot of the polls, like the AP, they come out to start the season. The BCS doesn't come out till later. When does your poll start?
Well, as far as the mathematical ranking, I did it first this season after week 5, and then I did it at the end of the season. The reason I don't do it every week is because I have to actually do out the rankings of 124 teams. I need to actually make a computer program for it. Right. So it's a little bit lengthy of a process to do.
Now, contend that strength of schedule should be a component. Now, and also, I think there's another thing that should be considered when looking at teams is, can you win on the road? And I know you probably don't have that built into your system. Is that something that you could do maybe down the road and maybe give another extra bonus point, if we will, for winning a game on the road? Because, you look at some of these schools are playing 8 home games and 4 on the road, and you got some schools playing more road games. Is there any way you could ever see a time where you could give a little bit of benefit of the doubt for winning on the road?
I thought exactly about that too, about possibly capping the home games at 7, maybe not penalty big over 7, and some way or other encourage teams to do home and home,
right,
as far as their out-conference games, to keep or maybe neutral games as well, to keep the balance, and more other than just heavy loading on the home games. But yeah, I definitely thought about that.
And obviously, you look at the scheduling that's going on these days. I mean, it's almost sickening when I watch these games, these non-conference games from a lot of these powerhouse schools. They're just not playing up. They're not playing up. They're playing down to lesser competition. They're padding their one-loss records in all essence. If there was a way to where the selection committee or your ranking system could at least give bonus points for playing quality. Now, how you determine quality as opposed to padding your record, I think that would be something. Have you thought of ways to do that?
Well, the system itself, if you have a team that's got a lot of wins, and they play teams that have a lot of wins, and that's how you kind of accumulate the points of the system. So if you play a good team, you're gonna get a big boost. That's kind of why Stanford is ranked number 2 in my system. They finished off the season playing UCLA twice, top 25 teams 2 times in a row. So it really boosted them up.
I've also been an advocate of sometimes rewarding teams. Listen, sometimes a close loss is just as good as a win over a weak opponent. And I think that maybe Stanford would have benefited by that, the fact they played at Notre Dame and lost a close football game. I think that would be a component. Now, there again, easier said than done. So,
yeah. And so I'm trying to keep it as simple as I can. You get into too much of the other stuff. That's why I'd rather there could be caps on the home games so people can't, heavy load on the home games. And at home and home, at least the next year, the team, the school will have opportunity to go away or defend their own home turf.
What else does your site
fair that way?
What else does your site have on it besides this fair ranking system, Justin?
Well, I pretty much cover college football nationally. During the season, I do ranking projections, like on the BCS. Actually, the last week I projected Northern Illinois to bust the BCS when ESPN and CBS wasn't doing so. And actually, that's one of the other reasons with the BCS is people don't really understand the computer rankings there. They're not transparent. It's almost like doing a poker game every Saturday night projecting the rankings.
Right.
Basically, like Jerry Palm and Brad Edwards of ESPN, Jerry Palm and CBS, they went on stilts last week. They didn't see it.
Right.
See the Northern Illinois busting the BCS. But also, there's a lot of other stuff on my website, too. Now I'm getting geared up for the draft coming up, the NFL draft, and rating the top college prospects now. Looking into a little bit of recruiting. February's coming up with college football recruiting. So pretty much about anything in the wide scope of college football on my website.
Again, the website is collegefootballuniverse.com. I highly recommend it to all of our listeners out there. Check it out. Hey, Justin, appreciate you taking the time to spend some time with us this afternoon.
Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, appreciate it. Justin Burnett from collegefootballuniverse.com. Check it out. It's a great website. You're listening to ESPN Radio 105.1. Give us a call on the Hardy's Hotline. That number, 648-1051. We'll be back.